So we're going to go through auto level, how to set it up, read the rod, make turns, foresights, backsides. One of the first things you do when you set your tripod, you want to firmly plant it in the ground. Obviously we're on a floor here, so we're using a mechanism to keep the tripod from slipping. And you want to make sure the tripod table, the flat surface, is reasonably level. Open up the box and get the instrument. Mount it centered onto the tripod table. Thread the single mounting screw into the base of the instrument. Then, since this is a 3-screw leveling system, we have a target bubble at the very top. We simply manipulate one screw at a time until the target bubble is centered in the circle. So now the bubble is off center, so these 3 leveling screws are springs loaded, so I only need to move one at a time to get the bubble in the circle. So the compensator must work. If an auto level compensator is seized up or will not move, the instrument cannot be used to do any kind of leveling work. It must go into the factory and be repaired. To check the compensator, I simply focus on an object. I focus the crosshair with the eyepiece first, use the objective focus, which is the knob on the side, and then I hit the plunger while I'm looking through there, and the crosshairs should bounce and come back exactly where they started from. If that doesn't occur, the instrument cannot be used, regardless whether you use balanced foresights or backsides. Next, this also has a set of sights on the top to be able to get a rod reading. Waving the rod is very important because when the rod is in the plumb, that's the vertical side. In other words, that means that the rod is perpendicular to the line of sight of the instrument. When the rod is leaned forward or back from plumb, it's then a hypotenuse, and it'll appear like the crosshairs move up and down the rod in the hypotenuse position. We want to read the lowest reading, which means the rod is perfectly plumb and perpendicular line of sight. So I focus the crosshair, focus my objective, and I get my rod reading, and in this case it is 5.06. Red numbers are feet, black numbers are tenths. Each little small mark that's in black are hundredths. 5 feet, 0 tenths between here and here, so it's 505 if the horizontal crosshair is on the bottom of the little black mark that's centered. If it's on the top side of this, that would be 0.06. So consequently, the bottom of each mark is odd, so that's 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. The top of each black mark is even, so that's 02, 04, 06, 08, then 1/10. Again, waving the rod from the side view, when the rod is perpendicular to the line of sight, it's absolutely plumb, perpendicular to the line of sight of the instrument. When the rod is moving forward, now the rod is in a hypotenuse of a right triangle. And when it comes back, again it's in the hypotenuse position of a right triangle. So we wave the rod slowly back and forth, and the crosshair has a tendency to climb. When it's perpendicular, it goes down. When it comes this way, it climbs. We want to read the lowest value, meaning that the rod is perpendicular to the line of sight. Another important thing in waving the rod, we don't want the rod to be cockeyed or out of plumb in this direction, because then the crosshair may pick up on more than 1/100th mark. So this would be an improper rod wave. We want to try to hold it plumb and wave it. Okay?
Very cool.
So that's the rod readings. Very simple operation with this. So if we are to do differential leveling, the very first shot we take is known as a backside. So if I have, and I'm going over here to the step, and I'm going to try to insert the rod here to where it might stand up.